Hello everyone, today is February 10th. We are on day 493 of the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Even though we're on a ceasefire, technically, we still have 76 hostages in Gaza and 17 left in this phase one. The articles that we have for today might say otherwise, and we hope that I won't have to change that number. HaChashash, the concern. Gam hemshech shelav aleph, even the continuation of phase one, bisakana, is in danger. So we're going to talk about all of that. We also here have another article about Alon Ohel, mechakim le'alon, one of the hostages that new information regarding his physical condition and mental condition has come out. Let's get into the news. This is an article by Ronen Bergman, and it says here, Mischakei Hara'av, the Hunger Games. It says here on top, Ze reality chatufim. It's a hostage sort of like reality show. Ronen Bergman says here that Israel shouldn't have waited to see the horrendous images that we saw in the last hostage deal, and that they already knew that this was their condition, and that the tortures that they were going through. And the reason that phase one is in danger of not being continued is because of phase two. What is included in phase two is that Hamas, the leadership of Hamas, would not be ruling and reigning in Gaza anymore. They would also completely dismantle Hamas. And Hamas is not sure that Israel is wanting to even go through with that phase. And so it's really not clear what's going to happen now. In Israel, there is such a great rage in people's hearts when they saw the images of these hostages, because they believe, many of them believe that that Bibi is sort of sabotaging the deal every single time. They want Trump to put pressure on Bibi to accept this deal, and for different reasons these things have been postponed, these deals. The same deal that we have seen coming through now is the same deal that could have gone through in May. And so people are saying, why didn't we take that deal back then? And they're hoping that Bibi doesn't sabotage this deal going forward. Another key figure in this dynamic is the Knesset member Smotrich, that doesn't want to continue with phase two. Phase two would include us basically ceasing, stopping the war, not continuing the fight, and he doesn't want that. He wants to continue the fight on the expense of the hostages. So you can imagine the families of the hostages are doing everything they can to fight for this hostage deal, not wanting that anyone would cause it to not go through. The reason Ronen is calling this Mischakei Ra'av, the Hunger Games, is because he sort of sees this whole thing as sort of like some kind of twisted, reality show that we're watching, that the lives and the destiny of these hostages is contingent on these, political games, and we're all just watching it from a screen. And so if you're a praying person, please remember that even, if you have differing opinions about this deal, we're still dealing with very real people. Real people. I want you to look at their faces of Ohad Ben Ami and Eli Sharabi and Or Levi and the other, 76 hostages of whom we're not sure who is alive and who isn't. And think about them and what they're going through right now. As you're watching this, they are in those tunnels suffering a suffering that you and I will never know, and their families as well. So whatever you think about this deal, please pray for God's will to be done and that He would be with them till the very end. And I want to sort of drive this point through to you guys so you understand just how critical their situation is. Here it says, En yuter zman. This is a little bit of the good news that we try to give you guys amongst the bad news. They're showing here the smiles of those three hostages that I just now showed you, Ohad Ben Ami and Or Levi and Yossi Sharabi, and they've come back completely emaciated. I encourage you guys to go, on YouTube or search it up. When I watched it on TV, I was literally like this. I covered my face. I couldn't understand what I was seeing. It literally looked like the Holocaust. And they truly do not have, time. And another person that doesn't have time is Alon Ohel. Alon was 22 when he was taken into captivity, and he now is 24. Today is his birthday. His mother received news from Or Levi, who was with him in the tunnels, about his condition, and it is absolutely dire. So if you can imagine how these men came back, that's how you can imagine Alon is, and he's just a young man. He's a young man that was taken hostage from Migunit Hamavet, the death shelter, together with Or Levi. And it said about him that he has been injured in his eye. He only sees shadows in one of his eyes. He has shrapnel in his whole body. Almost the whole time he has been inside the tunnels, shackled. So he's literally in chains. They get maybe one pita a day, which is basically nothing. You and I have the benefit of being able to have access to food all the time. They don't have that. And they're also being tortured. And the type of torture that they do is not just, psychological. They're inside tunnels. They have no air. They have no light. They physically torture them. They take sharp objects, hot objects, and burn them. They choke them. They suffocate them. I find myself sighing a lot these days, because just to know that right now in these moments, these hostages are there in those conditions, it's hard to wrap your mind around it. So that's Alon Ohel, and he's not in phase 1 of this hostage deal. And if we don't go to phase 2, Alon could very much stay there. One person who is in a similar situation is Elia Cohen, in very similar circumstances, but he is in phase 1, if phase 1 even comes to pass. So you can see how the families of the hostages are crying out, saying, please, please, please make this deal come through, and don't spread it out so much, because because they put them in different kind of categories, like humanitarian, this, that, but they're all humanitarian. They're all in these really dire conditions, and so we're really hoping to see all of them come back to their loved ones very, very soon. And if you can, send birthday wishes to Alon. Hopefully we'll be spending his next birthday, his 25th birthday, here in Israel. And now we're going to end with something quite interesting that really shows you guys the human spirit and what these soldiers and reservists did in Gaza to sort of keep their spirits alive. Here it says, Milchama, a war. Kavim lidmuta, sort of a description of, it's sort of like a play on words. Kavim lidmuta is like lines to describe it. And it's basically an article about Colonel Aleph, who was in reserves in Gaza, and he would basically do these sketches every single day of what he was seeing. And it became sort of this, thing amongst, his soldiers, that they wanted to see one a day, and they were all waiting for this one caricature a day that he would do. Here you can see in these caricatures really just little snippets of their day here. So here you can see the soldiers at this table in which they would call basically Mis'edet Jabalia, the Jabalia restaurant, where they would just take from the food that they had in these little tin like cans and eat. And they would just sort of make it, their little restaurant. Here you can see Chadar Kosher B'Jabalia, a sort of makeshift gym in Jabalia that they would make out of water bottles to sort of keep fit while they were in Gaza. And then you have, of course, some, more sad things that are not just, snippets of their day-to-day fighting in Gaza. But you can see here he sort of did a memorial for the 3 soldiers that died trying to fight for the city of Sderot. Here you can see also sort of a victory that they were able to have because of another 2 soldiers that fell. And here you can see also another soldier that every single time before they would go out to battle, he would always have a book in his hand, no matter what. And so it's just to show you guys that, these reservists, while they were fighting, while they were waiting to have this, victory in hand and go back home to see their families, those are the little tiny moments that they had to tell the stories of what they were seeing. And so to know that they were waiting for this caricature every day, to see it and to experience that together with them is very special. That is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, for praying. Comment down below where you're from, and also you guys should know that today is Rotem's birthday. You guys have seen Rotem from the beginning of the war, giving you guys this news. So give her a shout out, say happy birthday. And if you want more Israel related content, go to allisrael.com. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you guys next time, hopefully with better news.